Welcome, nerds. Stranger Things has been over for about a month now, and now that I'm done laughing at the Byler shippers and conformity gate theorists, I think it's finally time I compile together my ranking of all the seasons. I tried to be as objective as possible with this listing. Now you may be wondering why you should listen to my opinion on Stranger Things. Well, I've actually been a fan since 2019, and for proof, I actually have a poster here, I have a magazine here, and I have a bunch of calendars. So therefore, I know ball on the subject because I have merchandise. And let's face it, this isn't the worst face to look at while you eat your food. So without further ado, let's get this started. So I don't think this is much of a mystery for most people, but at the bottom of the list is Stranger Things 5. I know a lot of people enjoy it, they think it's a nice ending, but I think this is the weakest season, like, in general. For starters, I think the build-up to the climax is very flat. Like, we ended off season 4 with like this, oh my gosh, Hawkins is being invaded by the Upside Down, but then the next season, they literally put tape over the holes. It literally loses all that momentum, then you have to build that back up. You have a bit of the momentum when you go into the mid-season point where Will gets his powers, but other than that, once we get past that, the build-up kind of is lacking, and when we get to this finale, it's like, oh, we're here already? It didn't really feel like it flowed. Also, I feel like the show just kind of forgets about things. Like Andy, the friend of Jason from the last season, he's there for 1 to 2 episodes and then completely vanishes. It's like, what was the point of him having him there? I think the real reason why they did that is because they wanted to have a final season that was a climactic, but they also wanted to make a by-the-numbers Stranger Things season, so they felt the need to have, oh look, they're in school, they're doing their thing, they're doing their routine. You gotta have that moment where they're all rushing out of the house, doing the stuff with that nice little music. It felt like they were just trying to make a season of Stranger Things without really sticking the landing. Also, the upside... Okay, editing Jeremiah here. This is actually something I just thought of, and I'm going to say it now. I think this actually speaks toward a much bigger problem with this season, is the fact that I'm pretty sure they didn't have an actual map when they went in. Other editor Jeremiah, they 100% did not have a plan. If you watch the documentary, it's quite obvious that they had no idea what they were doing. Even the children thing, they had no idea what they were doing, and they had no idea why they were doing that. All of this was completely made up. I didn't actually have anything to add. I just wanted to continue the bit. Gotcha. Ha, you're hilarious. Wait, how am I talking to you right now? Just finish the video. Alright. There are so many ideas explored in this that could have easily been done in other seasons, except they didn't. Because they didn't plan out this season, in fact the entire show, they weren't able to fully grasp and explore a bunch of the ideas before the last season. And I think they were just kind of playing around for the most part. I think by season 4 they had a decent roadmap, but by that point it was already too late. So they wanted to bring it back to what they already had, and it was rushed. I think if you opened up season 5 with the apocalypse and things are bad, it would make the ending so much more satisfying because now things are back to normal and it feels different. Also, I think the Russians were a plotline that shouldn't have been employed at all. I think they should have completely gotten rid of that, because it just wastes time. I don't think the Duffers had an actual idea of what they were doing. They were just playing around, which is the biggest problem I think this show had. There were so many ideas I think they had in their minds, but they couldn't do it, so they had to renege on the ending of season 4. I'm pretty sure season 5 was supposed to open up in the apocalypse, but they realized they wanted to have Ted and Karen find out about the Demogorgons. They wanted to have Holly do something. They wanted to have the bullies do something again, so they had to undo the ending so they could then do it again. So at that point, all the momentum was completely lost. That was the biggest problem with the season. It would have been a lot better if they kept it as an apocalyptic thing. And I think they should have planned it up from the very beginning and maybe had only 3 seasons. Because there's so much meandering that the show is done, and it wastes so much time. Okay. You can continue. Also, the Upside Down is no longer a threat. They literally walk through it, and except for the first 2 episodes, we never see the Demogorgons there. They never once fight anyone. Because in the first season, you actually had a scare factor. Like, being in there was terrifying, and that you could go in there and not make it alive. There was a legitimate threat, as well as the fact that they can just breathe it all of a sudden, which has been a problem since season 4, but still. Also, the stakes were non-existent. I didn't really feel a sense of dread for who's going to survive, mainly after Ted and Karen were just completely mauled, but then get out perfectly fine. After that point, the stakes were completely gone. I didn't believe a single character was going to die. Especially Steve. Literally everybody has insane plot armor. Also, the mystery aspect is completely gone. There wasn't a single moment where there was like a mystery needed to be revealed. From the minute you see Mr. What's-It, you know for a fact it's Henry, and I was like, yep, what's the mystery here? It wasn't surprising or scary. And of course, the dialogue is dumbed down half the time, where they have characters in a room just discussing the plans, or just lame dialogue in general. Like, we all know it. We know what I'm talking about.
Stop this meathead from reproducing and further infecting the world with his unique brand of idiocy.
My sister kicked her balls so hard.
If it isn't the traitor, is that supposed to be English, freak?
Freak, freak, freak.
Dick.
What?
I like dick. Dick, 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 dick. Dick.
Dick!
Ah, yeah.
And Will's conference meeting, I mean, come on, guys. The world's ending. Oh, by the way, I'm gay. It didn't really work. It would have made more sense if the scene happened with Will talking to his friends, or maybe just Joyce and Mike. But instead, he talks to everyone, including Kali, as well as Murray. What does he have to do with anything? Also, the rules of how to get out of Vecna's mind were extremely inconsistent. Originally, it was music. Then it seemed as if the way to get out was through an emotional connection to reality. So, Max and Lucas's love. That was the connection. But if that were the case, Max should have been able to get out of the spell during Season 4's climax. Then Holly just wishes hard enough and believes in herself, and then she gets out. Which literally wasn't even needed, because Holly doesn't even escape. She gets kidnapped literally immediately after, so what was the point of that? They just create a plot hole for no reason. I guess it was worth it to see her fly or something. They should have just stuck to the music plot line, because it made sense. They bring Kali back just so she can exist in the background until the climax, when she dies. She only existed for the ambiguous 11 ending. And of course, the climax was extremely rushed. It happened so quickly, and by the time it was over, it's like, oh, is that supposed to be satisfying? Though I did actually like the epilogue. I mean, sure, it was a by-the-numbers epilogue, but I still enjoyed it. I thought it was mostly okay, and the ending was nice. I didn't cry like other people did, but it was still fun. It was emotional. It really felt like a bookend. Who's opening the garage? This one is gonna make people mad. My fourth spot is Stranger Things 3. Yes, I know everyone loves it. It's fun, it's funny, the aesthetic is nice, the 80s style is nice, the Back to the Future stuff is nice. But writing-wise, I think there's a lot to be desired. Hopper, I feel, is a dumb oaf for most of the season. Joyce is a caricature of herself. And Mike should have just told Ella what happened with Hopper. And also, this is the problem that Season 5 also has. Zero mystery. Literally right off the bat, we find out that there's Russians in Hawkins, and the Mind Flayer is doing stuff, as well as Billy. You couldn't have had the mystery pan out for a few episodes before they eventually go, oh wow, there actually are Russians. Hopper's fake death just exists for the Russian plot in the next season, which I do like, but still, it was a fake out and doesn't really accomplish much. And I think, honestly, with him not dying in Season 3, it meant he can't die in Season 5. Also, at the very end, the Russians just completely disappear from Hawkins. It's like, why would they give up? Why wouldn't they just make the machine again? I mean, we know they were still there to kidnap Hopper, so what was the point of them being there? Also, people love her, but I think Max was a huge instigator throughout most of the season, and it's never really addressed. They kind of just have characters look at each other the right way, and then boom, their plot's resolved. Also, anytime a character does something questionable, they just eventually forget about it. For example, Nancy and Jonathan's argument, Joyce standing up Hopper, Hopper threatening Mike, Eleven and Max spying on the boys. Also, Will started off kind of interesting. He had an interesting dynamic going on, but then they kind of just forgot about him and then just went into the background. It's like they knew they were going to do more seasons, so they didn't feel the need to develop his story any further. Steve and Dustin are really good in this season, obviously. They're hilarious. I love their dynamic, as well as Robin and Erica. I think they have a really good plot line. I like Steve and Robin together. It's a very good thing. And of course, I do still love the vibe of the season. Despite the fact that this is near the bottom of my list, I still love this season. There isn't really a season that I don't openly love, except maybe Season 5. I have a lot of nostalgia for the season, because I actually watched it when it first came out back in 2019. I wasn't even in high school yet. It's crazy. And now it's over. Anyway, my number 3rd season is Season 2. Yeah, I don't have a lot of problems with it. Sure, the characters aren't perfect. There are some plot lines that don't really go anywhere, especially with 11. But I think the writing is pretty good. The characters are pretty consistent. Overall, it's pretty well executed and has some really great moments. And the horror aspect was really good. The way they built up the mystery and what was going on, and the kind of mystery of whether or not Will was in full control at times was very interesting. And of course, Noah Schnapp's acting. He's really good. I would say, though, that Max and Billy don't really do a whole lot in this season, but they did need a different girl in the season to have a different dynamic where Mike is upset about Elle, so it made sense to have her there, but she doesn't really do a whole lot. I still think it works, and of course, Max and Billy are important in other seasons. Bob, I think, is really good. He's a fun character. You think he's going to be like this dumb, lame person, but he really becomes heroic and becomes Bob Newby superhero, and he's really good. He's a great addition. and Subtraction. And the relationships were really good, especially Dustin and Steve's goated relationship. I mean, come on, who doesn't love these two? They had one of the only moments that legitimately made me cry in season 5. Like, literally, it got me tearing up. No other moment did that for me. Sorry. Now we've come to the second best season, in my opinion. Again, I'm trying to be as objective as possible when I make this video. Season 4. I think that season 4 is 100% the second best season. Sure, the California subplot I don't think works that well. They kind of just have it as an excuse for Mac to not go to 11. But most of the season was extremely well written. The mystery is good. The horror aspect is brought back to an even greater degree where you don't know what's going on at first. And there's like a dread with the Vecna spell where you're like, okay, how are we going to get out of this? And it's really well handled. The writing is also really good most of the time. And there's a really good vibe that really harkens back to the first season. Eddie's death is very well executed, as well as Mac's not death, but, you know, it was kind of death. She died technically for a few minutes, but then she came back. Whatever. The ending is brilliant, an amazing cliffhanger. Hands down, this is the best climax I've ever experienced in a show. Even if it's undone. Damn it, season 5. Okay, and the first best. There's literally no competition for this one. It's obviously season 1. This is the best writing, some of the best dialogue, best characters, and some of the best character development for most people. You don't expect things to go the direction they do, but they're really well done. Steve, people like to say that he was a jerk before the events of season 2, but no, he was actually a pretty decent character, and the way he developed is so well done. You can kind of tell that he's sort of a nice guy, but he's trapped within the social hierarchy to the point where he surrounds himself by people and doesn't point out their actual flaws. And you can really see him break that barrier slowly. It's a very well done character arc. Steve is 100% the best character in the show. And again, every character was really good. The way they experience things, the way things go, it all breaks the mold of what you'd expect to happen. Will also felt like a character that you think was going to die, like Georgie in It. The one character that goes missing in the opening, and you think, oh, he's dead, but no, he's actually alive. And the way they do it, the way it goes at it, the way the plot thickens, the way the stories unfold is amazing. And the way everything ties together at the end is so good. And of course, this has the best horror and mystery in the entire show. So overall, this season is basically a masterpiece. Honestly, the one thing I was extremely nervous about when season 5 was coming out was that the ending wasn't going to be as good as the first season. And sadly, that is exactly what happened, because no ending can come anywhere close to this first season. The way it's all built up, the way things are kind of left open-ended, the horror that's still actually there, that is what Stranger Things is, and that's what season 5 is greatly missing. But overall, I still love Stranger Things, and I'm upset that it's over. I really thought it was going to go on forever, because it kind of felt like a thing that was always there as I grew up. But with that being said, that's my opinion. Let me know what you would rank these videos, and comment down what you think, assuming this video actually gets some views. So anyway, hope you have a good day. God bless.